Good evening, everyone, and welcome aboard satellite PSBN 1 orbiting the globe at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I am Sike Manders, and with me, as always, is my co-pilot, Maul Paderos. Maul, how are you doing on this stellar evening?
I'm amazingly well, considering that I have filled up my third vomit bag due to the acceleration that we have going into this season. My goodness, already here we are, 3 weeks in. What a fantastic beginning of a pretend football year.
Indeed, a lot has happened, and already we've gone into rivalry week so soon. Have these grudges begin to fester under the skin, and this week is when a lot of them were settled.
Oh, absolutely, and this is where the rubber really meets the road. You know, when two or more gridiron greats meet up with one another and they hash out all of their differences with blood, sweat, tears, and poop. That is what pretend football is all about, and I am enamored to find out what exactly we have going on over in the medical bay.
Let me start with some questions. Ladies and gentlemen, who among us knows the heart of the alien? Who among us can forge an understanding with strange beings with thoughts utterly incomprehensible? Who but perhaps the father of such a being, pandering perhaps placed positionally for philosophers, or the paternal? But these are questions for men in learned robes, strolling the marble protocols of the ivory tower. I am just a man in a steel room with my scalpel. So let's get into it. The 51ers were at Pine Lake Park Stadium to face their sire, the Tombstones. What bigger rivalry could there be? Son versus father, the family drama right there out on the field. The glorious Galactic Glorpers stunned with an aerial assault that was led by Devontae Adams, putting up 25.2 points on some big reception yards, and Keenan Allen is sneaking into that high score list with 15. Antonio Gibson beamed up a sweet 16.9 points as well on a great rushing performance, and nothing. The cosmos growing silent in its hours of finality, like the collapse of a mighty giant star into a tiny and unremarkable brown dwarf, so too did the 51ers. They receded from the scoreboard. The utter supernova destruction of James White's hip, remember that number, pal, 1-800-MED-FUNG, released a bevy of stinkers. 2.2 points from Tyson Willens, 1.4 points from Darrell Mooney, 5 points from Tyler Lockett, and only 9.6 points from QB Trevor Lawrence. Ugh. Truly, the 51ers must have felt the gravity of their situation pulling them down, right into the Tombstones' buzzsaw. The Tombstones were led by Ezekiel Elliott, lighting up the boards with 25.1 points, followed closely by the Cleveland D of all people, earning 25 points, possibly from all the brain damage that they did with 9 sacks. Dak Prescott joined in with 22.5 points, and only a few misfires were on the board from Robbie the Invisible Man Anderson. We had C.D. Lamb, he saw only 8.8 points, and Myles Gaskin mildly upset with 8.9. The collapse of the 51ers was just more fuel for the Tombstones' fire, and they racked up the second highest score this week. So, TLDR, my friends, the Tombstones buried Glorp in the 51ers 149-98. Rest in peace. Well, the Tombstones rise from their graves and shamble into top contention in the Lethal Evil division, where they will face the Rainbow Unicorn Death Squad in a big division showdown. That showdown, Maul, has me bubbling with excitement.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is all about. You come out of Rivalry Week with a huge victory. You get yourself, in the Tombstones case, up to 2-1, the 5th overall record. They will be playing the Rainbow Unicorn Death Squad, also 2-1, in 4th place overall. That's going to be a real slobber knocker. Now, the Tombstones are slated to win that game right now based on the rosters that are currently inputted into the lineups. But
sure.
Anything is possible in pretend football. But man, heartbreaking loss for the 51ers. The wheels truly have fallen off the bus there.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a case of just a pretend drubbing. They came out, they were looking great, and then all of a sudden, that just giant loss. I've seen men's hips explode before, but that one was stellar.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 51ers in a very odious position at 0-3. Only one other team in the league, the Funky Butt Lovin', also at 0-3. They need to turn it around and turn it around faster, or this season might be lost for them already.
Absolutely. I mean, you hate to see it, but at the same time, you do want to see it, don't you? Those collapses are just magnificent to behold sometimes.
Well, you're absolutely right. The most dangerous of all pretend football coach hubris is believing in potential. Seeking out the over and sniffing out the underachievers is a week-to-week, even a minute-to-minute exercise. Case in point during Rivalry Week, where the Luxacs humiliate the home side Heartbreak 159 to 95.4. Coach Adesso Sacs were bloated indeed. Coming into the week, projected to score a solid 137.99. They were already favored to win, but just how big would they go? 8 sacks in the starting lineup outperformed their projection, led by the GOAT, Tom Brady's 33, and Justin, moving on up, Jefferson, 22.3. Even the kicker got into the game. Chase McLaughlin toted a massive 19-point effort. Yeah, that's right, we're talking kickers. Also, beating their projections were DK Metcalf, Derek, Tiny Baby Man Henry, Leaping DeAndre Swift, Logan Thomas, and Javonte Williams. An astounding combination of skill and luck identifying winners this week for Coach Dennis. On the flip side, the Beast came up empty. Yeah, DJ Moore had a solid 16.5 points, and perennially underappreciated Chris Carson at 15.2. But the real story for how the Heartbreak fell so far short of their 129.54 projection? Believing in the hype. Darren Waller, bad. Jonathan Taylor, worse. The Funches' long-lost cousin, Quintez Cephas, worse still. But the coup de grace. Justin, why was he even on the fields, taking over for a woefully injured Red Rocket Dalton, widely panned as the second coming of the great Smokin' Jay Cutler, expected to rise in the early fall like Charlie Brown's Great Pumpkin, projected to score 20.79, falling flat on his smug face time and time again en route to 80 combined yards and a miserable 4.6 pretend points. Now, our Gage Laser is reporting that Coach Dennis has been walking around the locker room like Randy Marsh due to the massive sack performance and is looking forward to continuing his winning ways next week against the Beavers, where he is again heavily favored. The Beast, he is a tough matchup against the Gravy Legs, where he is currently projected to eke out a victory. However, as we know, projections mean very, very little in pretend football. This, in Rivalry Week, was a decidedly one-sided affair.
Yeah, it certainly seemed that way to me. We've had the Funchies on the show several times. We're still dealing with those lawsuits, in fact, which, as it turns out, still do follow you into space. But, he maybe said it best. Dan Swanson is more of a beast than a man. And sometimes he buys into that hype with all of his beastie heart.
Yeah, I mean, he there was quite a lot of buzz around Justin Fields, but hopefully there's a lesson learned. You don't start rookie quarterbacks in pretend football if you don't absolutely have to, and maybe this is a lesson learned for Coach Dan Swanson, but you and I both know that the beast doesn't care, and he's going to do whatever he feels is the right thing to do. In this case, just devastating. Leaves him at 1-2, 12th place, one of the worst records in the league, and he has quite a hill to climb out from under.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. I mean, once that momentum starts slipping away, I mean, God forbid that you go 0-3 and then it just keeps sliding and keeps sliding. We've seen it happen before where a team just can't seem to find their footing.
Yeah, and that is certainly the case. And like we mentioned earlier, Funky Butt Lovin', they lost last week against the also dreadful You're Still on Mute. It was a close game, but Funky Butt Lovin' ends up with about a 4-point loss in that one, and they need to do a lot more to turn it around. That's what Rivalry was supposed to do. It's supposed to put you on good footing. It didn't look very good for Funky Butt Lovin', but Eric, and You're Still on Mute, coming back on it with a big win there.
Yeah, I mean, I think You're Still on Mute definitely was looking for that W. They needed that W. We'll see if Funky Butt Lovin' can hang on against the Cumberland Crew. This matchup in Week 4 is going to be brutality. They're projected to lose. They're projected to lose pretty badly. We'll have to see if they've got it where it counts.
Yeah, and we would be remiss to mention that, but Cody's Cumberland Crew, 3-0, the only undefeated team remaining at the top of the heap here in the NJCFFL after their tremendous victory over friend and former ally, the Knights of the Kings of Limbs and Coach Kylan Swanson. Kylan has to be licking his wounds after losing that one to the Cumberland Crew, but Cody has to feel really great at the top of the mountain right now.
I think I speak for all of us here at the PSBN offices when I say that if Cody could see this, he'd be so proud. He'd be so proud, Paul.
You gotta, Sike, we've got to keep it together, man.
I'm sorry.
We've got to keep it together.
I'm sorry. I'm a professional. I'm Sike Manders, handsome newsman. I got to keep it together. I'm a rock. I'm a rock. Absolutely. That's right.
Now, the Vagina Flowers, they lost another game during Rivalry Week against the Shartsville Gravy Legs, who took a 35-point victory into that matchup, and that was great for Shartsville. They were 0-2 going into it. They needed that win. There was a lot of trash talk in the offseason, and these two teams definitely dislike one another, and I think that coming into week number 4, Shartsville on a high against the Heartbreak, but the Vagina Flowers, they're looking to regain some of their lost swagger as they play Shooter and Shooter's Giggity. They currently are slated to lose that one as well, so it could be pretty tough for the Vagina Flowers, but I think that they are going to be able to pull it out.
Indeed. I mean, we've got so many KG veterans in this league, and Coach Marion Cooter is among the KGiest of them all. She does have an insight to where your team will be weak and how exactly she can just pollinate all over the resulting loser. Will she be able to find that stride that she's looking for? That is a tall order. Giggity has surprised us once or twice, so this might be a loss that just stangs.
Yeah, well, the matchup against the 7th and 8th best teams in the league currently, it's certainly going to show us something in Week 4. And the only other game that is still of interest to us, the Miami Uramies are 2-1, third place overall in the league. They are at home against You're Still on Mute, Eric Menzie. 1-2, has about a 10-point hill to climb based on the projections. Catherine doing a really good job so far, really good job with her team.
Absolutely. She definitely has an insight into exactly what players are gonna give her the most, and the most production, and that's fantastic. Honestly, to me, Coach Menzie seems like this year, out of many years, he might just be on autopilot.
Well, he hasn't done anything to better his team, right? He still hasn't had made any waiver moves. He's
Absolutely none.
Just kind of floating about in the much like us, floating about in the netherworld.
Sure.
Hoping that things will just kind of break his way. He has managed to win a game, albeit against a subpar team, but he's still one of the lowest scoring teams. I should say he has had one of the highest scoring teams in the league. He's probably in the top 5 there, but he still has a chance to pull it around. But he needs to start making some moves. Otherwise, there's nowhere to go for him, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I would be 100% in your corner as usual, Maul. I mean, it's going to be just a fantastic season. The way things are shaking up, we've had our surprises. Even veteran pretend sports fans like myself and Maul have been surprised by the way that some of these things have gone this season. I can't wait. Bring on week 4, Maul. I'm ready.
Yeah, no, I'm totally in agreement. I think that week 4 is going to be a great time, and Dr. Fung, graciously sponsoring this program.
Of course,
and he very excited to see what he has up his sleeve for week number 4 as well. But man, what great football we are about to embark upon.
Indeed, and we can see it all right here aboard PSBN 1. All we have to do is look down. It's absolutely amazing. But alas, our time with you does grow short, friends. So, from all of us here at PSBN and aboard PSBN 1, this has been Pretend Football Now.